Starting off a new topic, everybody, and you can see at the top it's rational numbers. So these are the notes, and pretty much a straight up definition. A number is considered to be a rational number if it can be written in the form a over b. Basically, if you can write it as a fraction. A and b must be integers though, and integers are just these numbers, positive, negative, whole numbers. So a couple things you need to know, which I'm pretty confident you already know. That a fraction bar means divide. That's the same as 35 divided by 5. Of course, that's 7. And that 9/16 is the same as 9 divided by 16. It's always numerator divided by denominator, not the opposite. Okay, and you can see I divided it. It's 0.625. And that makes sense. A little bit more than a half, 9 out of 16. Look at that decimal. A little bit more than a half. If you divide that backwards, you would get 1 point something. So I think you would realize it. Okay, so our goal today is to write numbers as fractions when they're not fractions. So number 1 just says write 8 in the form a over b. There's lots of possible answers. Simplest thing to do is just put 8 over 1. I'm done. Now you can come up with other ones. Can you think of any other fractions that mean 8? Maybe 16 over 2, or 24 over 3, and on I could go. But you only need one of them. So a whole number is pretty simple. The one below it, question 2, is basically the same question. So try to think of a couple answers. I'll write them, but hopefully you're already thinking 3 over 1. That's 3. 6 over 2. I can put or there. Again, we only need one answer. And so on, and I can just keep going. You can do whatever you want, as long as you put 30 over 10. That's 3. See, it's in the form a over b, and a and b are integers. Okay, so now we should feel pretty good about being able to write a whole number in the form a over b. And it would be the same if they were negative, by the way. So now we get into decimals. And what I'll tell you about decimals is try to read them the way you were taught. Like, for instance, we don't say 0.3 here. That doesn't help me understand it's a fraction. So up here, 0.9, if we say 9/10, that's a fraction. Can you picture a fraction, 9/10? Same. Instead of saying 0.27, say 27 hundredths. And now you can picture 27 over 100. So you just have to say it, and you'll already have your fraction. Now these types of decimals where that first number is not a 0 are a little different. We read this as 3 and 245 thousandths. Now that's a mixed number. We can't leave it like that. And I have an example, 2 examples down here that show you that. Okay? And I just go over the process for changing a mixed number to an improper fraction. There's 5 times 3 plus 2, which is 17, all over 5. Okay, so here we go. Number 3. Write 0.3 in the form a over b. Again, just say it. 3/10. 3/10. You're done. Same with 4. 88 hundredths. 88 hundredths. Now that fraction is not simplified, but it's still a right answer. Okay, I can divide 4 out of each of those numbers, and I could put 22 over 25. That's fine. Either or. Okay, now number 5, I'm going to write first 2 and 6/10. Now here, I see this mistake all the time. People will leave it here on a quiz. That's not in the form a over b. Okay, you have to make that an improper fraction now. So 10 times 2 is 20, plus 6 is 26, so I can write it as 26/10. Now again, I can simplify. See how they're both even numbers? If I divide them both by 2, I would get 13/5. Either one of these are fine, but not that. You have to get it into this form a over b. So again, 6 you can try on your own. Feel free to pause anytime and work ahead of me if you want. 5 and 49 hundredths. So again, I can't stop there. It's not in the form A over B. So here we go. 100 times 5, 500, plus 49 is 549, and I just keep my denominator. Okay, so at the bottom I just wrote, in general for decimals, say the number correctly, then write what you said. You might have to simplify and or change a mixed number to an improper fraction. Okay, so this section, oh wait, I have to show you something before we do that section. There, covered it up, the answer. First, before we move on here, that's a mistake. Okay, if I was asked to write in the form A over B, a lot of people will do that with a decimal. A little hard to see, but it says 0.61 over 1. Why is that a mistake? It's a fraction. I wrote it as a fraction. Let's think about the definition. A over B, where A and B are integers. A is not an integer, everyone. 0.61. I see this mistake a lot on a quiz. So be careful. Okay, now this part here, again, you can pause the video, try these on your own, write them in the form A over B, and I'll go ahead and start answering them, assuming you tried them on your own or not. I think we saw this one on the front of the paper. 3 over 1, done. Again, you could write 6 over 2, etc. We went over all that. Negative number does not change anything. Negative 21 over 1. 2, I would read 4/10. 4/10. Again, you can simplify into 2/5. 97 hundredths. 2 and 8/10. Can't leave it there. 28/10. Or divide them both by 2, 14/5. Either one of these two are fine. 3 and 82 hundredths. 300 plus 82 is 382. Again, I can simplify that, but this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to move to the last section. When you divide a decimal or a fraction, you're going to get a decimal. Okay, so 3/8, if I divide 3 divided by 8, I get 0.375. Just like that. That's what it would look like in a calculator. Okay, this is a terminating decimal. It stops. If I divide 1 divided by 3, I get 0.333. It goes on and on and on. That is a repeating decimal. And you know you can write it as 0.3 with a little bar over it. Now, a little bar says that 3 repeats. I know some of this you've probably seen in 5th and 6th grade. But it's important, and we're going to talk about it now. So, last section. A single-digit repeating number can be written over 9. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. 2 digits can go over 99, and 3 digits over 999. If you're saying, what are you talking about? For instance, 0.7 repeating is not 7/10. That bar means it's 7/9. And same, if I have 29, it looks kind of like 29 hundredths. Okay, I had to edit this video, so I hope it wasn't too choppy, but let me slide this back up. 2 digits after the decimal point means 99ths. So 3 repeating digits can be written over 999. So if you see something like 0.811 with a bar over all 3 numbers, that's not 811 thousandths, it's 811 999.
Please report to the office.
And we just got to hear an announcement. So that's it. I know it's a little long, the notes rather, but I'm actually going to try to post those notes with the assignment. So you won't just have a video in this assignment, you will also have the notes. So the assignment looks like this. You'll write these in the form A over B. and just a couple, circle the answer, repeating or terminating, and some true false. The notes are much longer probably than the assignment. Okay, again, that was a little long, just went over 10 minutes, but we have to jump into a new topic, and that's what it takes. If you have any questions, let me know.